everybody! I hope everyone is doing well today. So today we have the lesson for 1117. And what we're going to be working on today is our digital portfolios. Now, if you have not already, I would definitely highly suggest handing in your final draft of the CTA. And you can always hand in papers for resubmission if you would like as well for portfolios under the DCA, the RA, or the CTA Dropbox. And I am going to go ahead and talk about our schedule since we have 2 more weeks left of class. And next week, we do not have classes because of Thanksgiving break. So hopefully that will be a well-deserved rest for everybody. So what we're going to be working on today is the in-class workshop for digital portfolios and also the final cover letter. Now for homework this week, the homework this week is to read chapters 4, 21, 31, and 34 from the Norton Field Guide. Those are the chapters on reflection, how to build a portfolio, and all matters related that we're going to be talking about this week and especially in today's lesson. We will have class on Thursday as well, and we will continue working on portfolio websites and cover letters. So the only homework over break is to work on your portfolio, work on any resubmitted papers you might have, and also any paper reflections that you might need to catch up on. And yes, paper reflections are needed for your final portfolio or for your final website. And then that is pretty much it. After Thanksgiving break, we will continue working on portfolios in class. And please keep in mind that the last day that I will take any resubmitted papers or any late work in terms of papers will be Tuesday, December 8th at midnight. And please note that digital portfolios are due on Thursday, December 10th, and those final links should be ready for your Google website. Those will be due on Thursday, December 10th by midnight. And then by Tuesday, December 15th, I will return your grades to you, and your portfolio grades will also be handed to you by then. And final grades will be available by Monday, December 21st by 3 p.m. So that is our schedule. So I am going to go ahead and dive into the lesson for today. But first, I will show you where you can find your homework. You can find the homework under discussion boards and under the reading response number 7. Reading response number 7 will be due on this Thursday by midnight. And again, those are the chapters about reflection, self-evaluation, building a portfolio, all things that we're going to be talking about in today's lesson as well. So today's lesson is actually under a different tab. So I am going to go under the digital portfolio materials. And the lesson I'll be going over today is the online workshop for digital portfolios. Now keep in mind, the other materials here are equally important. All stuff that I have already covered and talked about in previous videos. But these previous lessons here talks about how to build your Google website and also the digital portfolio process. So that's this lesson here, and I did go over that in a previous video, and there's also a lengthy tutorial on how to create a Google website and this YouTube video, which is about 15 minutes long. So if you're having trouble making your website, you can of course refer to this YouTube video. There's also instructions on how to create a Google website, part 2. And it also shows you how to upload your site and how to upload your essays and materials to the website. This is also equally important is the digital portfolio checklist. So this is all stuff that should be included within your website. So for the DCA, it's important to have the DCA reflection letter, the final draft of the DCA, the rough draft of the DCA, the peer review comments, and the pre-writing invention. The RA is very similar, but again, you need the final reflection RA letter, the final draft of the RA, the rough draft, any peer review comments. Now, that can also be included if you did see a writing tutor and they made comments on your paper. You're perfectly welcome to include those, as well as the pre-writing and invention for the RA and whatever annotated articles. You need to have your annotated articles, especially for the second paper. If those are not included, it can cause a bit of a problem for grading. So please make sure this could be pictures of your notes or your digital annotations. So if you took handwritten notes, you're welcome to take pictures of that with your cell phone and upload those photos to your website for the RA. Now for the CTA, what you need is the final reflection letter, the final draft, the rough draft, any peer review comments, pre-writing and invention, and any annotated articles. And lastly, you need the final reflection letter, which will serve as a final reflection or an overall self-reflection of the course. So these are the portfolio instructions. So please note that portfolios are collected across the college in every English 1510 section. So this is something that's done across all Comp 1 sections. These are evaluated and graded by section instructors and then read by at least one other instructor who will issue either a pass or fail. The second reader's determination of a fail will result in an F grade for the semester, regardless of grades achieved up to that point. So that's why it's so important to follow all of these instructions very carefully. So what I recommend to my students in general is to print out this checklist, mark off items as you organize them on your website. And since your portfolio is a digital web-based one, and it should exploit all the affordances of the medium, so make it function and look like a website you actually want to read. Include images, captions, headings, hyperlinks, etc. Lastly, final revisions for each essay are your opportunity to ensure at least every essay in your portfolio reflects the best possible work that you can produce. So revise each essay to ensure that at least the assignment requirements are met, that MLA format is followed with titles and citations. Major elements including thesis and topic sentences are clearly present and precise, and grammar and punctuation are standard and appropriate for each text rhetorical situation with few, if any, errors. So that's why I've been stressing proofreading so much these past few weeks. So these are the directions for the final cover letter. And what the final cover letter is it should serve as your homepage and your reader's introduction to how you have improved as a writer over these last 15 weeks or over the course of the semester. So the cover letter is your opportunity to clearly prove to your instructor and additional faculty readers that you have mastered the learning outcomes associated with this course and grown as a writer, thinker, and student. So your cover letter should therefore do the following. Include an introduction that explains your writing background before you took this class. State a reasoned claim about how you have developed as a writer during this semester. How have you improved in terms of writing? Use your work from this semester to support your reasoned claim. Each paragraph should focus on a specific aspect of your growth and should be supported by your references to the work in your portfolio. And you're more than welcome to use hyperlinks here to refer to your work. And lastly, you want to conclude with a general discussion of how the assignments in this course and the course in general have influenced you as a writer. So your second faculty reader will consider portfolio completeness, clarity, and evidence of course learning outcomes met. So please be precise and be sure to proofread all your materials before posting them on your website. Again, this is very much in place of a final exam, so that's why it's so important. So anyway, with that being said, I am going to go ahead and I will be going over the online workshop for digital portfolios, and you can also access this lesson right from our syllabus. So in designing your site, remember that writing is a process that involves at least 4 distinct steps: pre-writing, drafting, revising, and editing, all things that we've been talking about the whole semester. So it is known as a recursive process. So your job is to capture these processes through your website page. And of course, these are the steps that we have talked about in various length. Pre-writing, drafting, revision, editing, publication. So you can use design to show your processes, especially your writing process. Make a single page or several. What a lot of students choose to do is to make several pages and to make a page dedicated to each paper. Use it for your general education at JCC. So what you want to consider here is who is your audience. Of course, during final exams or the grading of the portfolio, your main audience will be myself and another faculty reader. So you're more than welcome to put a personal touch on it if you would like, put extra things in it. I really do highly enjoy when a student takes the time to put in pictures, music, a personal touch, maybe some YouTube videos that relate to some of their sources used within their paper. Be sure to take pictures of things that may be handwritten and make sure that everything is in it and clearly found and organized and coherent. So as long as everything is organized and coherent and easy to find, generally there's not a problem. Now again, this video is the one that I just showed you for the Google website, how to create a Google website. So some of this lesson is review because I have done this lesson before. This is just an expanded lesson that I have revised a little bit and added onto for the sake of final portfolios. So these are links from previous lessons that I did just go over, help with Google Sites and the digital portfolio process, how to create a website page, and how to upload files to your Google site. Now, this new link here is LinkedIn Learning Google Websites course, and this is extremely helpful. So in order to access this, you have to log in with your JCC ID, and then it will take you right directly to this page here. Now this is very nice because it breaks it down, it gives you videos and a set of instruction. So like it will show you how to add links to a menu, how to change the page navigation for your website, how to add images to your website, how to add URLs and links if you would like to add videos, and other such things. And it will also show you how to publish your website. So if you have any sort of technical problem, this is a great page to be looking at because it will show you how to do everything, how to resolve those sorts of problems. Anyway, moving on from there. These are previous student portfolio examples. So I will go ahead and show you these. Now, these are previous portfolios that previous comp students have done in the past. I really particularly like this page because what they did here is they have an About Me page, and they have a really nice design here. They have some videos here, they have some images. So that's very nice in terms of personalization. It's always nice to be able to have something just nice to look at, especially when grading papers. And keep in mind that your digital portfolio probably will go with you to composition 2 as well. And it will probably also follow you even after you graduate from JCC, especially if you choose to go into a graduate program at another university. And a lot of graduate programs actually ask for samples of your writing before even entering a grad program. So this website is nice because the student has it arranged by website page. So for their CTA here, they have the rough draft, the final draft, and the reflection. They also have some videos here and some nice images. So that's very nice. They also have the DCA, a very similar layout. Also their reflection. So everything is super nicely labeled, easy to find, and I do really like that. Here is the rhetorical analysis. So they also have their draft, their rough draft, and the reflection. They also even have their papers from Comp 2. And that is definitely something I highly recommend, especially if you have to take Comp 2, which I believe many of you do. So I definitely highly recommend keeping your website handy if you have to take Comp 2, because then you can also save yourself some work when you go into Comp 2 and just build upon your current website and include the papers for Comp 2 because the portfolio process for Comp 2 is very similar to Comp 1. So this is very similar. They have an About Me page, they have the CTA, they have their rough draft, their final draft, and the reflection. For the DCA, they also have the rough draft, the final draft, and the reflection. So that's very nice in terms of organization as well. This is a very similar layout to the first one. So they have their diagnostic essay as well. I definitely recommend including your diagnostic essay as well. They also have the discourse community and the CTA. So anyway, going from there, here is the link to the checklist that I had just gone over just a moment ago. So that will take you right directly to that. Now, these are the reflection letter links. It is very important to have all your reflections as well. So I have the links to the DCA reflection letter here. Now keep in mind, each reflection letter should be about a page double-spaced, and that's plenty. They don't need to be much longer than that. This is also the link to the RA reflection letter. And then this final link I just put up this weekend for the CTA reflection letter. So these are the prompts that should be guiding your reflection for the CTA. So what was the most challenging part of this assignment? What are you most proud of or pleased with? At what point did the assignment click for you? What would you do with additional time to work on the CTA? What would you like me to know that might not be evident from your essay or your process materials? So last but not least, this is how digital portfolios are evaluated. So how are digital portfolios graded? Portfolios are graded by clear essays that demonstrate an awareness of audience and purpose, a rhetorical written response to multiple perspectives on a given issue, and that is referring in particular to the rhetorical analysis and the CTA. Uh, they also evaluate reflective responses, demonstrating writing as a collaborative, recursive process. So this is why it's so important to have your reflections, is because it is part of the grading process. So it can be a problem if you're missing a reflection, or if you're missing anything really, it can become a bit of a problem during evaluating and grading portfolios. So that's why I'm trying to be transparent and give you everything that you need. I want you to do well. I want you to excel, especially in this case. So all artifacts are present. Is the portfolio complete? That's probably the most important. I mean, don't get me wrong, these are all important points to have and keep in consideration while grading portfolios. But having a complete portfolio is especially important. So keep in mind your audience. Your main audience will, of course, be myself as your instructor and a second faculty reader from the English department. So therefore, being organized and concise is very important. So these are the directions for the final reflection letter that I have already gone over. But basically, the main point that you should be taking is the final reflection letter is really your last chance to convince your audience or convince your instructors that you have improved your writing over the course of the semester and that you have mastered the learning outcomes associated with the course and have grown as a writer, thinker, and as a student. Also, I do want to say something about the portfolio checklist just very quickly. Now, I know many of you have accidentally saved or have not saved your rough drafts. Now, keep in mind there is a way in Google Docs. So if you go into your Google document, let's say you have the final draft of one of your papers, and maybe you need to download a copy of your rough draft that you had previously in that same document. Very easy to do in Google Docs, but what you can do is go to Help, search the menus, and type in previous is go into the search menu and type in, you can type in revision history or that will pop up see version history. And that will allow you to see all the previous versions that you have saved of that document. So let's say that you have your rough draft. Maybe it's something that you saved a month or so ago in the same document. It's very easy to go ahead and click. Let's say I had this as the rough draft version, and you would say click on more actions, and you can make a copy of that rough draft and restore it to that version, and then be able to save a separate copy of your rough draft and the final draft. Very easy to do. It takes about 5 minutes. So anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I will have office hours this week on Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. Feel free to stop by on Zoom if you would like to say hi. Of course, you can always find my office hours information under the virtual office hours and website page. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you so much.